I think I was solo queuing for this one too.
Hmm. Yep, and whenever you solo queue, you get Spider-Man and Squirrel Girl on your team as insta-locks. So, we gotta make this work. Um, One thing I want to check just really quickly. Yep, alright, so we have the Snowflake on Spider-Man. Doesn't seem to help, but that's good.
Yeah, because he engaged before I could even heal somebody else to help heal him.
Yeah. Alright, so one thing you just want to notice is Spider-Man's dad and our Snowflake hasn't been used yet. So to
Yeah,
keep that in mind.
that
Always
is
want
one thing I
Snowflake
feel
on
like I'm
someone.
bad about is snowflake uptime.
Hmm. Alright, helping break the group walls using your piercing ability is very good. 'Cause it helps you do a lot more damage. Alright, just kind of waiting up for everyone. Alright, Spider-Man got off this time. Nice. Okay.
And I forgot to give him the snowflake.
Yep, yep, yep. Alright, so um one little thing we'll probably be coming back to is uptime. You notice you stood around a little bit
Yeah.
whenever your team was waiting. And something as Luna you can be doing is, and we'll go back a bit, um, is, we're probably standing around thinking like, all right, I don't want to get in, I don't want to get picked by Groot, who's gonna wall me off, and that would just stagger us more. Now, we could also walk up with our piercing snow and click shift and start shooting people. And this will
Hmm.
help us build our ult. So you'll notice that at the top, Psy's at 60, Luna's at 50, and we're at 30. So
Hmm.
this is gonna really determine that next fight. And a lot of top Luna players are just kind of always shooting. Shooting enemies, shooting teammates, building ult. Oh, let's try. Alright, so we've got to pick on Cloak. We're shooting squids. Good stuff. Alright, line of sight. Notice that our Magneto gets to critical health, and we just saw him. Nice, keeping everyone healed up. Alright, we're getting Luna ult, so we can maybe match their Luna or counter the Psy. What are you thinking here about using your ult?
Um. Well, I was waiting for the Invis to go down, and then I was kind of just like, I tried not. So I was a Lucio player
Hmm.
for Overwatch, and so I was kind of like looking at my team's health bars,
Hmm.
thinking about like if I were to ult here and just damage boost, do we have anybody that could kill the Luna through her ult?
Hmm.
Um, and like wanting to maximize the usage of it because I
Hmm.
don't like to just match an ult just to match an ult. Like
Right,
I
right.
want to make sure we can do something with it.
Yep.
Um, so I was kind of just waiting to see if we could do something with it. So that's why I hadn't quite ulted yet. But I think I may have died before I ulted. Yeah.
Died. Right here. Yep. Oh no. Alright, so it's really tough. We're dead, and now that means Psylocke gets a free ult that's gonna take out even more of your team. And you see,
Hmm.
as soon as you die, um, everything just kind of
Yeah,
crumbles.
just snowballs. Pun
Right.
intended.
Alright, let us know. So another thing is we gotta keep in mind positioning, positioning, positioning. Right. So
Hmm.
um why are we out in the open here?
Yeah, I should have been back further behind my tank.
Hmm. Yep. So positioning is the usage of cover, and right now we've completely given up all cover. So
Yeah.
um, if our plan is to come up here and ult whenever they win a ult or something, that's cool. But that's not our plan, and our plan seems to be more like it's not really building ult so much as being in the invis and being close to your team so you can heal them. Um,
Hmm.
but you're giving up cover. So what you could do is kind of play here, kind of peek, shoot your team,
Hmm.
and the next thing is to think, when they do something, or whenever my team gets really low and someone's about to die, I'm going to ult.
Hmm.
You don't need to make a play, to win this fight.
And I stood in the freaking cloak thing.
Alright, so this is gonna be extra tough. Oh boy. Oh gosh, what are you doing, Squirrel?
Me staring at it for a second, like, really?
Yeah. Also, at times like this, um, I see you're very conscious of your damage dealers and you're keeping them like up whenever they're taking damage. Though, our piercing snow is just unused.
Hmm.
So, um, let's see, where's your ammo? Alright, so we're about to reload here. Yep. So it's still unused. And what that ability does is, of course it makes you, heal and damage more. It also gives you infinite ammo. So, and it will reload your gun. And what a lot of top Luna players will do is like right now, alright, shoot, shoot, shoot. We're like at 9 bullets. We're gonna hit piercing snow, and then we're gonna start, you know, just doing exactly what we do. We just shoot. And then no
Makes
reload,
sense.
no downtime. Moon lives here. I think we can just watch that again. I mean, look at him. We're
Yeah.
reloading, we can't see him. No! Alright. Good little ult. More ult probably comes out here, but it was late. Okay. Alright, nice using your snowball. Notice that again we're kind of finding ourselves out in the open, so that
Hmm.
whenever group comes in and starts to look for your backline, you're the most available person, so you might die here. Of course, he misses all of his shots, so it's cool. What you could be doing in times like that is kind of what I talked about earlier, which is just looking for that most available cover. Maybe here.
Hmm.
If you get group walled, wrapping it around here, here. Nice job keeping your Punisher up. Whoa. Alright, this is looking pretty good for us. Doing really good pocketing your like DPS. Punisher there is using his ult. Another thing to keep in mind is you can swap the Snowflake. Like if you think someone's, gonna take a ton of damage and they need to stay up, like Punisher
Hmm.
ulting, go ahead and give them the Snowflake.
Hmm. Yeah, that's one thing I feel like I'm not good at doing is swapping my snowflake around sometimes.
hmm
I forget
hmm
about it.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, if you're getting it on the right person, which you are, you're getting on Spider-Man in this team, it's kind of that like give it and forget it, and that's good. So just like it's one little thing you can patch, you can fix up, and it's noticeable. We're kind of dying here to Psy. I think.
I thought my team was gonna stay in it. That was that was my thought process there, or I would have
Uh-huh.
tried to get out, but they've all got out, and so I died.
That's very unlucky.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just look. You didn't do anything wrong here, honestly. I mean, the like the this is more about not having your ult than anything else.
Mm.
So, um, two things that can help. First is um, using your ult in that very first fight. Remember when we were dying with it, that meant
Yeah.
that when Sai used her ult, we kind
I would
of
have had mine
fell
again.
behind. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the cycling got messed up.
Exactly. Exactly. So keeping that in mind as Luna, like we kind of want to be countering a specific ult,
Mm-hmm.
keeping them in check so it
Just
never
like
ever gets
Lucio
validated.
beat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right. Moon's doing good here. This is not good. Um, all good, all good. Wow. Big pick. All right, Invisible goes out. I'm just kind of curious. I know this is a solo queue game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
double support ults happen all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of curious, like, how do you go about dealing with that? Like in
Um,
comms? And,
if my team's in comms, then yeah. A lot of times I just like will look, and that's probably what I was doing right there when I stood still for a second. Is I'll hold tab and I'll look and see which of my supports have the ult, and just kind
hmm
of like assume that they're probably going to use it first. And
hmm
sometimes I'll even put in chat like you can use your ult first or whatever.
hmm
Um, and then I try to like look for a very specific opportunity. Like maybe I'll
hmm
say, "Hey, I'll save my ult for this ult," or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Definitely. Yeah, so like right here you might be saying like, all right, Invis, you're sitting still. Hey Invis, use ult first, and then you're waiting to, maybe match the Groodle. And that
Mhm.
works really well. Another thing to keep in mind is that whenever you're in solo queue, people, uh, you know, it it can be kind of hard to trust your teammates.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so I would kind of suggest, it's worked for me very well. Is just kind of say you'll go first, just because you can trust yourself, and it kind of
Mhm.
teaches you, the best timing, for when to support it.
I also like if the nice thing about the Luna ult specifically is if a double support ult does happen, all you do is switch to damage, and
That's true.
it kind of helps a little bit. But
Yeah, I like that. All right, so we're just kind of hanging out here. Um, a lot of the same stuff I've brought up applies here. So right there, we have someone who's one shot. We have Piercing Snow available, and we're
mhm.
about to reload. So what do you do?
Use shift to get infinite ammo.
hmm
I didn't even
And
realize it reloaded for you, so that's good to
yeah,
know.
yeah, it's a really game changer. You'll be getting your ult like twice as fast. All right, this is really good. You're noticing your team is pretty much full health, so use damage. Back to health. Okay, this is really good, keeping in mind everyone else in your team. Um, wow, that was unlucky. There's some kind of shield in the way.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was Invis
yeah.
or something. Yeah, it was Invis.
All right, I'm gonna kind of go back. I'm a little curious. We can kind of just watch this back a bit. Why are we around the car? What does being around car help us do too when we're keeping up the team?
Mm, nothing really.
Yeah, it does put us pretty close into everything. Um, and another thing it's doing is meaning that we can't see everyone.
Yeah.
So if we go back a bit, I think we're we're here, and then whenever our Moon and Punisher get flanked, we're just completely like not we're kind of caught off guard, and that means we have to split our attention. And then whenever people appear pushing, we just don't we're not there to help them. Um, so one thing that can kind of help on support, especially Luna, is kind of taking these more how do you say? Let's
Like
kind of
wider
position.
angles.
hmm And there's one more thing that's kind of complicating everything, is I would say like yeah, play here, though there's a Star-Lord flanking you, right?
Right.
So don't be afraid, because once you heal these people, shoot Star-Lord once or twice.
Mhm.
Because what will happen as soon as you heal him, you'll turn Star-Lord, just shoot him. Star-Lord's just gonna leave. He won't be a problem anymore. And then now you're back to healing everyone. Though honestly here, a lot of this isn't, I wouldn't say this is your fault. It's kind of on your mag for and your Moon Knight for overextending there.
Yeah. Give me just 1 second. I'm sorry. I need to uh go do something real quick. My grandfather, we
Mhm.
take care of my grandfather, and I need to go tell him that his nurse is coming.
Right, feel free.
Yeah, I'd ego that a Star Lord.
I know you would, bro.
Crazy.
If you're on support, I'm sure you'd just be like the DPS support, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. I love Luna because I just love the dings. Ding ding ding.
Man, you should have seen this dude. This dude Lex, in a scrim I played yesterday. He's a
Oh,
Star-Lord one trick.
oh, bro.
And
Give me that.
no,
Slap
bro.
in your face.
Every game he got banned.
Dude, for real?
Uh-huh.
Dude, I need to be like him, bro.
There's too many one tricks, man. Way too many already.
Right. I'm
Okay,
hard
I'm back.
correct, but like I still need to be able to like aim better, bro. Trap
Hmm.
better too. My
Yeah.
tracking is so bad. Yeah, I'll shut up.
It definitely makes a difference. Like whenever you see some Star Lords or just kind of, I mean, you're familiar with Overwatch Tracer players, at the higher ranks, like, the difference between having like good aim and like insane aim makes a huge difference because suddenly you're like one clipping people.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yep, yep.
All
All
right,
right,
type.
so back into the game. Um, oh, it was great to have you jump in, show. Um, since we had a little downtime. Now, we have someone kind of staggering really hard here. It's pretty frustrating. But since we have 20 seconds, um, generally the play here is like it's gonna take maybe 10 seconds for that guy to be back. We can kind of play slow and play together, and then go in towards the last second, and we have everyone. Alright, kind of looks like that's what your team's doing. I like that no one's forcing anything. Okay, Star-Lord goes out, doing a good job keeping people up, and um, positioning. So here, why is the camera so slow? What the hell? I don't know what I did, but all I'm trying to say is like, all right, it's better. Is
Probably could have wrapped into that tunnel area right there. Yeah.
hmm And also it's this is something we could be doing earlier before things hit the fan. Shit hits the fan. Is like um just being at cover all of the time. So
I end
here.
up feeling like half the time the way the maps are designed, like I have such a hard time seeing my team when I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing like safer. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just frustrating.
It
Right.
And
really is.
I have a tendency where I'm like I focus more on healing my team than I do on my own safety. Like I need to play
Mm-hmm.
my life more and
Mm-hmm.
not like step out of a position just because I need to heal somebody.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, that's it's kind of one of the hardest parts about playing support, right? Is like sometimes your life is more important than your teammates' lives, and they're just playing like idiots.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Like, don't be
Oh,
afraid to like let them die and you survive because like you're more important.
hmm. Okay. So here, uh,
I needed to shift.
yep. So shift. That's step one. We need to reload. So shift, and then just kind of curious. So like, how do you? How did you like react to the Psylocke popping up here? Did that catch you? Or Solid? Was this a big surprise for you?
uh yeah, I don't think I knew that the Star Lord was there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, so we've been kind of playing against flankers the whole game. So one thing that can definitely help on Luna is kind of giving up these more open positions, especially giving them up because you're on the low ground and you're very accessible to their flankers. Um, you could be playing with your Punisher or your Moon Knight, I think, up here, and
Hmm.
this will give you a lot of things. So, natural cover.
One
So,
thing that I feel like I find happening in Rivals
mhm,
against like a Magic or a Psylocke or a whatever flanker is that I actually feel like whenever I do play those safer spots, I'm more vulnerable to them
mhm.
because my team is less aware of where I am,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, yeah,
And
agreed.
so then I end up like playing in these open positions because at the
Mhm,
very least my team can see me better and can help me
mhm,
when I get flanked.
mhm,
So I feel like it's just like a weird balance of like knowing when I can, but I think playing with the Moon Knight is probably what I should have been doing because then he could help me if I got
mhm.
jumped.
Mhm. Yep. So, like, notice how you're noticing that you see he's alone here, and because
Hmm.
you're aware, you're like, oh gosh, I gotta help him because he's dying. And
Right.
like,
I could have done that safely if I was standing next to him.
mm-hmm. And he could have done the exact same thing for you. So
Hmm.
flanker comes up here, and instead of being alone and caught off guard, he's watching you, protecting you. And in these dive, playing against dive, they're running Psy and Star-Lord and Thor. It's very common for support players to just kind of like keep each other up. Um,
Hmm.
and if it's solo queue, maybe your support isn't so great at that. It's just generally being around a teammate and being in a safe spot with them it just makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
All right, so we're about to get flanked again. Um, Notice how being on the ground and being in open makes it like really easy for the Star Lord to take you out.
Hmm.
So just kind of curious, where do you think we could have been instead?
I mean, ideally would like to play up there, like where that little next to that where that jump pad is. But like what I have found, and this is like I guess in ladder versus like in team environments, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when I am up there,
Yep.
my tanks will start pushing around that corner and then I can't see them or like I don't know. It's just
Mm-hmm.
the way the maps are designed, it feels so
Yeah.
frustrating to figure out where to play and like if I
Yeah.
can't tell them like, "Hey, back up, I can't see you," or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, like it just makes it so much harder.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think that's coming back to your like that problem that's been going on for you a lot, right? It's like, oh, I have to put myself into bad positions so I can keep my team up.
Yeah.
I think something that would help you a lot to work on is this like playing your own life and rather than playing for your team as
Mhm.
much
Yeah.
because like we're just finding ourselves in these like really open like and just like scary places.
Mhm.
I think that's been like the theme for like your last three dots.
Yeah.
Even here, we can be kind of peeking at this like box, and that's just making us less available for any flanker that shoots us. Playing here, pew pew pew. Oh, alright, never mind. What's going on? Star-Lord's ulting. That's over. Alright, so we don't have our ult in time. This is really unfortunate. Um, so Star-Lord ult's gonna wipe our team when the Invisible is over. And watching these things back can always surprise you just how much it matters to like have your Luna ult fast.
Mhm.
Alright, we'll have it this way, and that could probably be a big, could turn things. Thor looks like he's really out in the open. Nice little ult. Oh, our Moon Knight is just completely out in Narnia. Poor guy. Alright, keeping everyone up. Nice, swapping back to damage. Yep, Silent comes out. We just don't have
And
anything to
again,
counter
my
that.
team leaves.
Yeah, it's
The number of people that
horrible
don't
now.
know that if a bunch of people stay in the ult, she can't kill anybody, it drives
Yeah,
me crazy.
definitely. Everyone's so scared to sell off now. Okay. Not exactly sure what the call was from her team. Though notice that, going in here in this kind of like 4v6 and being in the front, being on point is just it's very likely that we're gonna die, and that kind of is gonna lead us to being staggered pretty hard. We have
Hmm.
three people up here, one person in spawn, you're about to be in spawn. Moon Knight gets staggered because he goes in with you. And now we only have probably one fight. So one thing to just keep in mind is watching that kill feed, and whenever we're going back to like recontest a point at the last second, if we're down 2 or 3 people, we don't have any significant ults, we don't have Luna ult, it's often a good time to just tell the team like, hey, let's give it up. We're down a couple of people. Okay, Luna ult comes up from them. Star-Lord on the flank. We're using our piercing snow to keep everyone up. It's good. One thing that happens again is we're finding ourselves out in the open and getting absolutely aimbotted by Star-Lord. So positioning in that spot, I think I'll just walk it back a bit. So there's a couple things, right? So just generally positions you could be playing. You could be hugging this cover because we know that Star-Lord's on the right side. We could be walking back because we know he's going to be coming out into the open, so we're just trying to find more cover. And one more thing we could be doing is um, kind of helping the team shoot him.
Yeah.
Yep, again, that fight came down to us just not having our time. Uh, to get your ult in time faster, the number one thing that I think you could be doing is using that piercing snow, pretty much as soon as it's available and you see it could be of use, and also looking to shoot the other team, um, to build your ult if your team
Mm.
doesn't need you. Right. I think that was it. Damn, that was a tough game. And I think this team probably um took like they were like a really strong counter to your play style. So this one was like
Hmm.
especially tough for you. Alright, so if you have time to look at another, feel free to tell me like what character you want to review or anything like that.
Um, I wish our scrim was better last night for
Yeah, yeah.
um
Yeah, this is kind of a blowout. You can kind of swap it to custom game. Maybe there's more. Yep, there's a ton of custom games here. We could look at another scrim. Here we're kind of a blowout. Yep, there's a lot more even games here. Like this one, you played Invis and Luna. I think This was a few days ago, on the same map. Would you like to look that one?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, it seems like Invis and Luna seem to be my most played for scrims.
Hmm.
Sometimes Cloak. Cloak gets banned a lot.
Yeah, she does.
I don't know why, but all my custom games are just not there.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah. Like I thought I would have had more things.
Hmm. It must have been like maybe you're playing on different accounts, or it could be like after a patch they got deleted. That's pretty annoying though, because like you don't have the footage you want to learn from.
Yeah.
All right, so in this game, just taking a look at the comps for a second. So we're playing a very hard dive, with Magneto, and they're kind of playing a very brawly comp. So you see the tanks, Doctor Strange, and Thing. These are characters that really want to be up close, and of course, the divers fit well into that comp magic side. So just all of that to say, um, it. I'd kind of be curious, how does that change the way you play on the Luna? Like magic side.
Um, I mean, with them being brawly, that means you want to be further away from them and you want to play more like pokey.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, keeping the
but
distance.
then like Psylocke and Magic are both divey, so they could
Hmm.
isolate me pretty easily.
Yep.
Um, I found myself trying to figure out, and you can see how I was moving around. Like I was trying to figure out where I wanted
Hmm.
to be when they started wrapping around.
Yep.
Um, so I felt like in that room I could go up if I was needed up there, or I could stay down here and kind of peek at them
Hmm.
as they were coming around, and also heal my team as they were a little bit further back.
Hmm.
Um,
All right, so
but
yeah,
yeah,
we're kind of just looking. There's just like a tension, right? So at one point we want to keep our distance so we're safe, and at the other point we want to be kind of close to our team so we're available to heal them. Um, so in this situation, I think it's nice to be here because you have a good line of sight and you're safe. It looks like, though it's also isolating you from your team. So they
yeah,
are thinking, oh, that's a mistake. Luna's all alone. Maybe one of the flankers, if they're not, if they're flanking, which they're not, sees this and gets a free kill on you. So,
hmm,
what we can be doing um, against a comp with like flankers is we're playing with our other healer so that if anything happens, we can just kind of heal each other. So I
yeah.
think this is where to be, and I think you might recognize that here. Your team drops in, going up a bit. Right, pretty clean fight. But wow, um, Spidey just completely deletes them whenever they. All right, so resetting. Another thing to notice, I think, is how your positioning affects your ult charge here. Zestakar is like doubled your ult, and that's just because he could see everyone from here in that fight. Alright, so Venom, it's up. Good stuff. Just kind of getting there, being available. Spider-Man comes in, we're giving him Snowflake. That's the way to do it. Alright, alright, so before anything we get deleted, positioning. It's the same thing we talked about in the last game. Um, where we are right now is making us a free target for their flankers. And Sai's gonna read that, and she's just gonna jump in and ult you. So one thing you could be doing is playing that same high ground up here. It gives you the
Hmm.
same line of sight to all of these people, and you're now in complete safety. Your invis could be playing up here, or if your invis wants to have like be closer, you could just play in this back medkit room and
Mhm.
pretty much same thing. Oh wow. Invis doesn't get the ult out in time, so that fight's just kind of over. It might have been a different story again if we had built our ult in time. So
Mhm.
yeah, two big things. It's the healing up time, right? And that comes down to using abilities as often as possible and positioning, right? We want to be positioned where we're in the fight, and we also want to be positioned in a way where they can't really see us, but
Right.
we can see our teammate. Right, so it's a nice position. Again, using that piercing snow, just kind of going unused here. We probably would have ult by now.
I used it too late.
hmm I think it also might help a little bit to go back here and just kind of say like, all right, if you use that ability now, uh, who could you shoot? Like, who do you think it would help most to be targeting?
I could break Strange Shield
hmm
and also try to get some heals off on like the Black Panther and stuff.
hmm Yep. So I really like that you're like starting with the strange, right?
Mhm.
Whenever you're this close to ult, you're at 80%. Um, Using that ability and just getting free damage in whenever everyone has full health is
Cuz
like gonna build
it
it.
does more damage to like shields and walls and
hmm
stuff, right? Than
hmm
yeah, okay. Cuz it does less damage on people, which is weird, but
A little help, please.
It seems we have company.
Really good snowball. We get a pick on Luna. Wow, that was a really good dive. So the call probably here is just push, 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 push. And whenever that's happening, we can kind of swap over to damage mode, and we can
mhm.
use our piercing snow. Although it kind of goes unused here again, that's gonna be like really key for you just kind of building those ults, which we have already. So that's very nice. They're gonna have all their ults here, so um what you're already doing, which is really good, is kind of talking to your other support player and saying like, all right, I'd like you to ult first, and I'll use mine for to counter something, right?
Mhm. I think this
So
happened
what
multiple
happens
times that
next?
night. I die.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure because I can't
yeah.
get into the ult fast enough. That happened multiple times that night because I
hmm
remember just like every time it was like I was not in it again.
hmm hmm All right. So what I would do here is I would ult because I don't want to die, and my life is
Yeah,
way more important. So play here is ult yourself and then walk in damage
and then
boost.
damage. Mhm.
Yep, yep. And then we're all just screaming pretty much, like maybe we're like, kill the dagger, and then this fight is a win for us.
I am ready to put on a show.
I was trying really hard not to double ult it, but
hmm
I should have just prioritized my life there and did it anyways.
hmm hmm
Back in the fight.
Yeah, you kind of have to learn that one the hard way sometimes. Okay. All right. Here's our DPS. We have 4 people up here. Um, Spy. Okay. Typical Spider-Man players. Oh boy. All right. Yeah. So looking to use Luna Snow a lot here. What I
Yeah,
would have done here is probably like as soon as you see a critical health bar, it's like this fight's over if we don't use Luna ult. So it's if we're taking this fight, we're using Luna ult pretty much as soon as there's an opportunity. Since
The
we
problem
hold
was I
it.
got stunned and then
Yep.
Agamotto'd.
Yep. Exactly. Right. It's like if we're uh if we're waiting for a like kind of perfect moment or something like that, that gives us more and more opportunities to kind of get caught off guard by the ultimates on the
Mhm.
other team. So very important, and this is a pattern now that we're seeing. It's happened 2 times in a
Mhm.
row. Is we want to be using our ultimates kind of earlier, predicting like what the enemy's about to do, right? And
Mhm.
if we're not doing that, we get caught off guard. Alright, so this fight's probably donezo. um, that was a tough one, right? So we took it 4-6. One thing you'll see a lot of teams doing is kind of um, waiting for everyone and like staying in that back room, and then going in. Maybe whenever a flanker like Spider-Man takes a fight. Uh, so I think we saw you guys kind of trickle in, and now it's a little snowballing out of control. Alright, positioning. It's good that you're here with the Luna ult to counter it this time. Magneto dies here. I'm gonna see that again. Alright, yeah. Alright, one thing to be careful about on Luna is, I'm just kind of curious, like, why had you been, like, staying here, even to the end of your ult?
Mm. What do you mean? Like, what do
I'm
you
just
mean
kind
by
of sitting
here?
around. Sitting around out in the
Well, I
open.
was kind of trying to keep my invis in my ult.
Mm-hmm,
And I knew my team was coming back to my ult.
mm-hmm,
Zest was coming for them to play in our Luna ult.
mm-hmm,
Um, I don't know.
mm-hmm,
It's like I guess probably because like I felt like I needed to be falling back, but I didn't want to leave my
mm-hmm.
team without my ult, and so I
Yeah,
just kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
stayed in the same
It's
spot.
that same thing. It happens so much for you. It's like, all right, we want to keep the
Yeah.
team up, and then we're gonna be like, all right, so I'm gonna go all the way up here, and I'm gonna save Spider-Man, and but there's 3 seconds left on our Luna ult. So what that means is if we're up here, even if we spend that 3 seconds getting back, the best place we might be is like here. And do you want to be here? I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So, what you could be doing, is recognizing those last seconds of your ult. You tell your team, all right, Luna ult is ending in 3, 2, 1, and maybe you already told them, like, all right, I'm gonna back up. Um, and that like simple, um, like calm is gonna tell everyone to walk back with you.
Mhm.
Someone needs a snowball in the face. Better stop that vehicle.
All right, this is gonna be a pretty hard fight for us. They have 2 support ults, and we don't have well, we have the invis, so we can kind of
I am ready to put on a
focused by the thing. Good use of your abilities, and also that one was really tricky. Kind of curious, like what were you trying to do whenever you're shooting the thing? Like target priority.
Um, just keeping my other support up because they have ult.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we're trying to keep this support up by killing the thing,
Mhm.
and let's see. The trick is that we can't
Didn't
get
heal
there
them
in
enough
time.
during it. Yeah.
Hmm. So, like, priorities, what speaking, healing, keeping people who are critical, or about to die, keeping them up, and then it's shooting people who are critical because they're about to die, right? Like
Mhm.
shooting other people on the other team. So there we just kind of slip up on the priority a bit. Um, and that's going to cost us a lot, right? So that
Yeah.
was our only support ult, and now it's we've pretty much staggered like 4 fights in a row.
Yeah.
And this is over. Alright, Zest coming back with clutch ult, but I guess it's not enough, man.
By the
Strange ult coming out here, not much you can really do besides being in like a safer spot, but I mean, yeah. They really just kept the ball rolling there.
2, 3. You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
can't let the monster out at the wrong
That was a misclick.
Anyone willing to help?
Alright. Well, the best thing we have going so far is you're already using all your abilities all the time. This is the way to do it on Invis. Alright, so just kind of chucking stuff in, building our ultimate. Great. Shielding to heal. Also helping your damage dealers, which is great. Alright, noticing that our damage dealer is taking damage, so we go and help him out. That's good. One thing I want to point out a little bit is, like, I think that was probably our first push in 50 seconds. So, times when you could be using that, right? It's whenever we see someone's a little out of position, like this guy, we rotate over here, pull her in. Another thing that we could be doing a bit earlier is looking for like a bit of more of an aggressive pull.
Like
A lot
pulling
of
him off
top
of high ground.
invis.
I think I
Yep.
did at one point end up doing
hmm
that, pulling him off. But
That's really good. What you're doing there is we're now taking them away from the most like safe position and putting them in the most like exposed position, and that usually snowballs into a pick. Alright, this is good. Notice like how quickly you're building your ultimate on Invis, by the way.
mhm.
Nice. Yeah, ability usage is really solid here. Positioning, we're kind of finding yourself out in the open. This is a good idea to counter the ult there. Cool.
Destination.
One thing to keep in mind here is we kind of used 2 support ults there that we didn't need to, and that's going to lead our team to having a really difficult problem whenever they have 2 support ults and a Psy ult this next fight.
Yeah, I think after that happens, us was like, I shouldn't have ulted that.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It's so hard with Loki too, because
Yep.
like you have to like kind of plan ahead of time.
Yep. Something that a lot of teams will do is have Loki ult first. Because Loki's just, it's difficult to get those ults off in the middle of everything. So, something you can maybe be working on with Zestkar is whenever he's on the Loki. Yep. Zest ult first, and let's try to match their cloak ult, for example, because they're gonna have it first. And then Zest is ready, then we might be able to win fights and keep your ult in the bag. Oh! Alright, so just go back 1 second here. Notice we're jumping a little early.
Yeah, I have a bad habit that I have from playing Overwatch is jumping a lot, which hurts me a lot as Invis.
Yep. I know
Because I
exactly
played
what you mean.
Mercy and Lucio,
So easily.
so both of those I did a lot of just like spamming jump.
Yep. It happens to me all the time. Like whenever I play Invis, I'm like, oh god, I just wish I had my jump.
Mm-hmm.
Like where I thought I had it. It's really annoying. That's definitely a habit to break, right? Because on Invis, yeah, every time you use your jump like that, the other team is saying, "Oh, that's a mistake. Let's use my Magneto ult to get a free kill." Or, "Oh, that's a mistake. Let me just dash in a Psy and insta kill her." Alright, it's now 2 jumps in a row. We just kind of throwing them out there for no reason.
The first one I did it to jump up onto that high
Hmm.
ground for a second.
True. I shouldn't say no reason. And that was a good play here, especially at the early part of the fight. Though it's really those ones like in the middle of the fight that are gonna really cost you your life, right? Because if Sai goes in and ults you, which it doesn't, we're toast. Oh yeah, great totem by Zest. Okay, we built our ult up super fast again. A lot of it comes down to you're using your shield to heal people when they need healing. You're using your what it's called, shift, your bubble. You're throwing that out just pretty much into the other team, and yeah, you have your ult up. Great. This fight's a little different. Zest uses ults first, which is good. The ult might not
We
have been
usually
needed.
try to have him ult first. I think he just didn't have it quite yet when I used it first last
Oh,
fight.
oh,
The
thank you for
first fight.
pointing that out. Yeah, I hadn't caught that. Okay. Good. Could be a good time to match the ult here. Right, nice. So notice we're a little late to ult again. Punisher on the right here is really good. Just kind of point out again, you're kind of finding yourself out in the open, and it's happening on Invis 1 and 2. So places you could be playing the car for cover and kind of
Hmm.
peeking like pew. Um, here, though I don't really like this as much because you're further away. You could play the box here too. It's
Hmm.
just um this can be kind of hard to do at first because I'm sure you have like a long like your default mode is like I want to be out in the open so I can see all my team and I want to be around my team. So
Hmm.
something to keep in mind whenever you're playing is just like positioning. Where is
Hmm.
my cover? Where can I do the same healing from a safe spot so no one can see me?
Hmm. I meant to cancel that and not actually use it, but
Throw it out there, just like all the other abilities. All good.
comes back pretty quickly.
Mhm. Okay. Things are playing pretty passive here. Something a lot of tank players do, top tank players will just kind of, whenever we get the point and we have all this free space, they say, oh, free real estate. So they just kind of walk all the way up here. Um, as Invis, it could also be your role to move up with your team. If they take space, since you're kind of close quarters. So just
Hmm.
something to keep in mind is you can feel free to tell your tanks, like whenever there's all this free real estate, just like, hey, so Thumper, Show, feel free to just walk up. I'll go with you. Zest, could you stay in the car? Okay. Really good totem. Kill. Alright. So one thing is, we're kind of at that time. So, and I have to stop the replay here. And we can do we can just talk about any questions you have. If there's any like one or two in your mind about like how you can, apply what we're talking about to your gameplay, feel free to shoot.
Um, I don't think I have any. I think I got a lot of good ideas of what I need to be working on, especially with like Luna, my ability
Mm-hmm.
usage and stuff. And then the positioning thing is not new. I know I need to
Mm-hmm.
work on it. That's why I put it there.
Mm-hmm.
I had that problem a lot in Overwatch as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mostly, I think a lot of it comes from like being a Lucio player and just like
Yep.
being in there with my team a lot, and then having
Yep.
to adjust to like not being in there with my team a lot.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but yeah.
Yep. As Lucio, you're super mobile. You have like
Mhm.
self-healing all the time. You can just get to walls and corners and all that in like the nick of time. But in this game, you find yourself you're a lot slower, right? And
Mhm.
um, that's going to cost you. So
Yeah.
I think that's really good that you kind of know what you need to work on, and I think you're going to climb pretty fast at just keeping that in mind.